CFL talk. Let's move on. Chad Kelly has NFL on the mind and CFL contract issues. Feels he's a bit underpaid. I like this kid. I always, me. I want to see the Chad Kelly package, and I love seeing him. Sorry, as a Bomber fan, I didn't love seeing him do it, but I respected him getting that 20-yard run on the 2nd and 15 in the Grey Cup. I've always respected him, but I don't like his comments about, he's got to shut his mouth. That's what I'm saying to start off.
You would think after what happened in the NFL, how he ended up, getting drafted late, like he was the last player drafted, how he got dropped, you'd think he'd be a little bit more humble.
Yes.
Right. And really all you've done in the CFL at this point is, yes, you won the Grey Cup, but really you made one run. Get out there and show a season, but you can do this for a whole season, and show if you can get that swag back. But apparently he's never lost that swag. His contract is terrible for a starter. I'll give him that. It's base salary of $87,000, I think. And he could get up to 200 and something in incentives, but he has to get MOP and all that stuff. So
5,000 yards passing.
And 5,000 yards passing. But it's like, come on, man. You know what? Go out there. He figures if he wins another Grey Cup, this is his pathway back to the NFL. But he also figures he's good enough to play in the NFL. And apparently Marcus Brady told him a lot of teams would take him, but they don't want to cause trouble because he'd be better than their starter. I don't know where he's getting this information from, if Brady actually even said that, but he is.
Please.
Wow.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
No.
I agree with you. Go out and prove it. My fear is that this guy faces the fire. He has a couple bad games, and then he turns into that kid that got into fights with his coaches at Clemson. He turns into that kid where went back to Buffalo and punched the bouncer and fought the police. I don't know. Like, he might not have been drafted if his uncle, whatever, wasn't Jim Kelly.
Yeah, he wouldn't have.
Kelly and John Elway are close.
Yeah.
And he was a 7th round pick of Denver.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's it. Go out there, keep your mouth quiet right now and go out there and show that you can actually play football and see if you can tear up the CFL, right? Let's see what you can do. We expect him to play well. We think he can do it. I don't think he's going to tear up the league. But apparently he's gotten compliments too from Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Donald that he's a very good quarterback. So,
okay, whatever.
He's an interesting fellow. We'll see what happens there in Toronto. But
exactly, win the starting position first in Toronto, and then let's see what happens.
That'd be hilarious, actually, if Toronto, whoever else they're bringing in, if they end up beating them out for the starting job after this kind of stuff.
I hope they sign Vinny Testaverde Jr. Let's stay in the CFL East, and let's stay with Toronto then. We're going to do, last week we did burning questions of the CFL West. This week we're doing burning questions of the CFL East. And I'm going to say straight up, my question in Toronto is, can Chad Kelly mature and take the next step as starting QB?
Yeah, it's basically the same as mine. Is he ready to be a starter? And we just talked about it. Is he ready? We'll find out. So far, he thinks he's really good. So we'll see where that goes. Right. But like you said, once he faces that adversity, if he has a couple of bad games, we'll see what happens after that.
Exactly. He could be a real something in the locker room. We'll see.
No, yeah.
Let's go to Hamilton. What's your question for Hamilton?
A lot of mine are going to be QB related here. And mine for Hamilton is, does Bo Levi still have it? Can he rebound after a so-so season last year where he got benched?
Yeah, that's what I have as well. Can Bo Levi return to being one of the best in the league? There were flashes there. And there obviously he can pull out a game or two, but he is a full-time starter there right now. The way he's paying they're paying him, he's got to be. Can he do what Caleros does week after week? We'll see. That's the question I have.
And that's the one
answer now.
That's the one thing is he has to be able to take a back seat and not be the superstar of the team and just get things done now, right? Like Caleros kind of did. Caleros is not the guy that's carrying the ball. A lot of it's D, and he's got some good weapons around him and good old line, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And he stepped back. Can Bo Levi do that as well? We'll see.
Didn't they get what's his name from BC, the running back?
Butler?
Did he go to a different team?
Can't remember now.
Did he go to Montreal?
No.
Well.
Did anyone go to Montreal?
Oh, yeah. Your boy Cody Fajardo. I was like Fajardo 4G.
Fajardo further.
Let's go to Ottawa. My question for Ottawa is, can Bobby Dice take the next step as head coach? Can he be leader of men? We have the same thing, don't we? Son of a bunch. Can he lead the team through training camp? Yeah, it's his first time running the show. I'm going to be cheering for him. That's my team in the East. This coming up season, can Bobby Dice take the next step?
Yeah, and that's it. Is Bobby Dice ready to lead a team now? Right. Yeah. And I'm with you. I hope he does, and I hope Ottawa does well. But we'll see. He's been a special teams coordinator for so long. Can he take the next step? And hopefully he can.
Fingers crossed. What question do you have for Montreal?
Going back to the QB here, and is it can now you're getting me messed up with saying his name. Can Cody Fajardo regain his confidence?
We'll see. We'll see. Meineke's gone. We'll see. And what's his name's gone? Their number one receiver. He's in
Gino Lewis. Now.
Yeah, they don't highest paid player in the CFL.
Gino Lewis,
receiver.
Yeah, I think he ended up getting it. Yeah.
My question for Montreal is for old men: can the new ownership rekindle the city's love for the Owls? Can they fill up the stadium? I don't know if it's Molson Percival still, but can they fill it up? Can they get that energy? Of course, winning does that, but at the same time, also being out in the community, making an attachment to the people of Montreal again. That's my question. Can the new ownership, with all that money, rekindle the Montreal Owls?
Yeah, and it'll take winning on the field, obviously, to bring that back too. So, but hopefully they invest into it. We see what BC's new owner is doing. That guy's doing great work there.
Absolutely.
And hopefully some of these teams can follow suit. The ones that are struggling a little bit, see what he's doing, and take some pages out of his book and build.
Okay. Let's keep talking CFL. I love talking CFL, and it's not even CFL season yet. Is it June yet? Let's talk about greatest free agent signings. This is like all time since free agency started, whenever that was. Put that in the comments section. When did the CFL start their official free agency period? Any which way.
Yeah, the NFL was 93, I think it was, or something. So I figured the CFL was
before that.
Was it before that?
Yeah, okay. CFL was before that. Well, CFL's always been ahead of our time. So I'm just saying. Let's go again from the coast to the center of Canada. BC. Who do you got as BC's best ever free agency signing?
I'm going to admit this was tough. It's tough to figure out who was the free agent signings. And I went, and I know he came from the NFL, but I went with G. Royce Simon. He was with the Bombers for a bit, went off to the NFL, and then ended up going to BC and setting records and being in BC for a long time. So I went with G. Royce Simon.
So we should make that clear. That a free agent can't be like straight from the university, boom in, straight from the NFL, boom as a signing. They have to have some CFL experience and then go to another CFL team. That's the qualifications for free agents. So anyways, BC, I got Sean Millington. And he signed twice from Edmonton as a free agent. 2-time most outstanding Canadian, 2-time Grey Cup winner, most outstanding Canadian in the 2000 Grey Cup, 3-time All-Star, CFL All-Star. Sean Millington is my BC free agent. Calgary.
That's another good one.
I think we might have the same one for Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard not to. Who do you got for Calgary?
Doug Flutie. I mean, he got signed over from BC. He won the Grey Cup in 92. Set all kinds of records, destroyed the league, and it's all said and done.
He was so annoying to watch. He knew it was game over when he stepped on the field. It was the worst watching that guy on the other sideline. He won the Grey Cup his first year in Calgary.
Yeah. Against who?
And then he won 3. I'm not saying that. I'm not addressing that. And then he won 3 MOPs in a row. Third, his first one being in BC when he threw for over 6,000 yards, which is crazy. And when Calgary signed him, he was the second highest player behind who?
Pinball? No.
Close. Same
Ishmael.
team. There you go. Yeah. The Rocket. Attaboy. And then his last year, he didn't play the whole year in Calgary because he got injured, and then Jeff Garcia went nuts.
You got to wonder why BC would have let him go. Just pay him.
I know.
Like, he threw for over 6,000 yards. Did you think that was a fluke?
Isn't that insane? Not like over 6,000 yards, 6619. He was closer to 7,000 than he was to 6,000. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow, BC. You could have had a dynasty forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who do you got for the Edmonton Elks franchise?
You go first with this one. I did the last 2.
Okay, I got Willie Pless. He started his career in Toronto, and then in 91 he signed in Edmonton. And he was a focal point and probably vocal point of their defense for like 8 seasons. Defensive player of the year 5 times, 4 times in a row from 94 to 97. Willie Plus.
Yeah. I got to agree with that one. I picked him as well, and he was just a dominant force on that D. So tough to play against and whatever, So
yeah, you knew the running game wasn't going to happen.
No.
When Willie Plus was on the field, he was so good as a linebacker. Oh my gosh. Like Winnipeg, we've been lucky. We had like our all-time linebackers, but Edmonton's pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Edmonton's had some wicked players go through, some good guys on wicked guys on defense too. So they've been pretty stout.
Danny Bass and Larry Ruck.
Larry Ruck.
Yeah, Larry Ruck, the truck. Who do you got for Saskatchewan?
I couldn't really find much from Saskatchewan, so I went with Brendan Labatt. Yeah, signing over
that guy.
O-line, signing away from the Bombers, back to his hometown. He was a steady force on that O-line for Saskatchewan. I mean, he was a steady force for the Bombers, and he carried that over to Saskatchewan. So I went with Brendan Labatt.
That's a good one. I remember he's a great O-lineman in Winnipeg. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
For Saskatchewan, I went with Vince Goldsmith. He started his career with Saskatchewan. He got like 20 sacks, and then Calgary signed him away, and then he went back to Saskatchewan to win that Grey Cup in '89. And he got like double-digit sacks every time he was in Saskatchewan, except for his last year, where he got 9. So I'm going to go with Vince Goldsmith. He was a terror on the defensive line. Winnipeg. Winnipeg. Who do you got for Winnipeg?
This was a tough one. I went in the last few years with this one. I got 2 guys here.
One guy to start off.
I'm going to take Andrew Harris then.
Yeah.
You know what? Because it was part of that, and he wasn't the only guy, but he brought that hometown feeling to help lead the Bombers to some Grey Cup wins that we were severely lacking for so many years. And he was just a force on the field, almost like a cheerleader in a way to help carry that Bombers. So I went with Andrew Harris.
I agree. I have Andrew Harris as well. My shout out runner up goes to Matt Dunnigan as a great dynamic free agent signing. Like, we never saw the Bombers really go out and get anyone in free agency until Matt Dunnigan. So I'm going to take Andrew Harris. Who's that second one you got?
I got Willie Jefferson as well, because, I mean, without him, we're probably not even winning these Grey Cups either, right? So
that's a huge one, yeah. Without a doubt.
I was thinking of the last few years of that, and I totally forgot about Matt Dunnigan. Not a little bit surprising there, but yeah, he was a great one too. But Willie Jefferson, he definitely helped with those Grey Cup wins.
Yeah,
he's been a force and still been there. And look, I mean, the guy's living here full time now in Winnipeg.
And he's going to be a force going through the season.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing about Willie Jefferson. It's not about like the sack numbers, although he gets them, but it's the batted balls, it's the interceptions, it's the havoc, it's the double teams that's needed, or the extra running back that they have to bring in and take out a receiver. He causes havoc on the field. So yeah, Willie Jefferson for sure.
That wingspan is still amazing to me.
I know, eh? It's crazy. It's like when he jumps, it touches the trestle there on IGF Field. That makes it the loudest field ever in CFL history. Put your, best of in the comments below. Free agent signings and such in the West. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.